and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm excited to show you how I made this bracelet, and it's basically just 3 rows of right angle weave, and I'll show you how I did this. This one I made with 4mm fire polish and 2mm fire polish, and I really like how it came out. This one I made with 2 different tones of purple 4mm fire polish and 8 seed beads. Today I'm going to show you one, we're going to make one in green, and I've got 4 strands of green fire polish and some 8/0s. So if that's something you'd be interested in watching, please hit the like button, come back, and we'll get started. Okay, so as I've said, I'm using 4mm fire polish, some 8 seed beads in a off-white. I've got 2 wire guards here for the clasp, 2 jump rings, and a toggle clasp. I've threaded my needle with 8-pound fire line in off-white, or white, I think it's called crystal actually, and I am going to pick up 4 fire polish. We're going to start right angle weave. Bring that down to your stop bead, and when you use a stop bead, I always try to use a different color than what I'm working with, just to make sure I don't accidentally involve it in my project. So you're going to sew those into a circle. I'm just going to go around and reinforce. I'm going to sew around till I'm coming up out of this side bead here. And we're just going to do straight right angle weave. And we've got 4 beads on. We've got a top, a bottom, and 2 sides. We're going to pick up 3 more fire polish. We're coming out of the top of this one. We're just going to go through, if I can get my needle in there, the bottom, like that, and pull. And you've got 2 units on. I'm just going to go and reinforce. I like to reinforce right angle weave as I'm doing it. It just keeps the units nice and neat. Now, ordinarily using a dark green bead like this, I might use the darker fire line, but as you can probably tell from other videos, it comes off on your fingers very easily. So I just feel like the white is easier to demonstrate with. Okay, and you're going to come up that side bead. Pick up 3 more, because you're all on right angle weave, you're always sharing one side with the next unit. And reinforce that. I'm using a size 11 beading needle because that's what I tend to use most. It's a nice hybrid between a 10 and a 12, but you can certainly use a 10 with this project. Okay, I'll do a few more units. We're basically just going to do this to the length of how long you want your bracelet, which for me is usually 6.25 inches. Coming out of the top, you're going to go through the bottom of this bead here. And that is right angle weave. It's really quite simple once you get the hang of it. And after you do this bracelet, you will definitely know how to do right angle weave. I'm just reinforcing once before I go on to the next unit. Coming up this side bead. Now I've got 4 units on, and they each share a side. Pick up 3 more. And you could certainly use any fire polish bead, or I'm sorry, any 4mm bead and get kind of the same effect. Pearls might look a little bit different, but it would still be really pretty. Okay, we're coming up that side bead again. Pick up 3 more. Coming out of the top of that side bead, we're going to go through the bottom. I'll put 1 more unit on, and then I'll go off camera and do the length of the bracelet and come back and show you the next steps. Okay, so here we are coming out of the top of this side bead. We're going to pick up 3 more. Go through the bottom. Then I'm going to reinforce. And that sets me up to put my next unit on. So I will be back once I have the length done, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, real quick, I'm back because I'm running out of thread, and I thought this would be a perfect time to show you how I add thread. So we are just going to tie some 1/2-inch knots, burn this thread off, and then I'll add some new thread. Let's tie one over here. You just pick up a little bit of a thread bridge, go through 2 or 3. Let's go this way. And then I'm just going to burn that off with my thread burner. And I want to be coming out of this side bead here. So I'm going to thread my needle with another comfortable amount of thread. And as I've shown you before, I flatten out the thread to get it through the needle a little bit easier. Bring that through. Get another wingspan. All right, so I want to come out this bead here. So now there are different ways to add thread, but this is how I do it. I'm going to come back a couple and tie some half-hitch knots. So I'm going to bring that thread through. I'm going to tie a half-hitch knot. Sew up a little bit. Let's go through another bead. I'm going to tie 2 more knots, and then I will snake my way to where I need to be coming out to finish beading. All right. Tie 1 more knot. Go up the side bead because that's where I want to come out. And then I'm just going to continue beading. I'll be back to show you the next step. Okay, so I've got the length of my bracelet here. It is 6 1/4-ish inches. That should be perfect. And now I'm just going to sew around, coming out of the side bead here, put my last unit on. We're going to go up this top bead here. And now we're going to start with our 8/0s. We're going to sew an 8/0 in between each of these beads here, all the way down the bracelet. Okay, so you're just going to go all the way down and sew an 8/0 in between each of these 2 beads here. And then we'll be back and we'll move on to the next step. So I put an 8/0 seed bead in between each of these side fire polish beads, and I'm coming out this last fire polish bead. I'm just going to sew around. Until I'm coming out this side fire polish right here, and I'm going to go right up that 8/0. So I'm coming out of the top of this 8/0. I'm going to take 3 more, and we're going to do some more right angle weave. Coming out of the top, you're going to go through the bottom, through this fire polish, and through the next 8/0. you're going to take 3 more coming out of the top of that 8-0. We're going to go through the bottom and then through the fire polish and then up to the next 8-0. And see how we've got a little right angle weave unit in between each? We're going to do that all the way around. I'll do some more. Take 3 more 8-0s coming out of the top. We're going to go through the bottom and then through the fire polish and through the bottom of the next 8-0. And this is what you have. I'm going to pick up 3 more coming out of the top of that 8-0. I'm going to go through the bottom and then through the next fire polish and the bottom of the next 8-0 to put on another right angle weave unit. So we're going to have a nice little right angle weave unit all the way down the middle like I did here. And I used 2mm fire polish here, and I think that turned out really nice. So you can play and experiment with different beads to work and use to make this bracelet. Okay, so we're coming out of the top. I'm going to pick up 3 more. Oops. I'm going to go through the bottom and then through the fire polish and that 8-0. Pick up 3 more. Go through the bottom, the next fire polish, and the 8-0. Pick up 3 more. Go through the bottom, the next fire polish, and the 8-0. And you're just going to do that all the way down the length of your bracelet, and then come back and I will show you the next step. Okay, so I put on all of my middle right angle weave units on, and I'm coming out of this top fire polish. I'm going to sew around and then I'm going to sew through this next unit, this middle 8-0 seed bead, till I'm coming up this bead here. And we're going to go back to the fire polish, and we're going to put one fire polish in between each of these 8-0. Put a few more on. We're just going to do that through the length of the bracelet. One more, and then I'm going to finish. I'll go through the length and put a fire polish in between each of these 8/0s, and then I'll be back for the next step. Okay, so I've added a fire polish through each of these 8/0s, and I'm coming out of this 8/0 here. Excuse me. And for the end, you're going to pick up 4 fire polish. You're going to go through the bottom of that 8/0. And then you're going to sew around to reinforce. You know what, that could use one more reinforcement, so I'm going to go through and sew around one more time. So I've reinforced this unit, and now I'm going to sew through this fire polish, and I'm going to have to, I had to cut another strand of my fire polish. I'm coming out of this bead here. I'm taking 2 more fire polish, and I'm going to go through this fire polish. We're going to use these 2 and make another unit with 2 more fire polish. And there you go. We're going to do that all the way down. So I'm going to sew through the fire polish, the 8/0, and the next fire polish, like that. And because we've got 2, we've got a side and a top unit, we're going to take 2 more this time, go through that fire polish and up through the next 8/0 and the next fire polish. And so that's what we're going to do all the way down. And I'll do some more, because I know it's a little bit confusing now that we're using 2 beads and just adding 2 rather than 3 to make our right angle weave units. So we've got 2. We're going to go through the side, and then up the next 8/0 and up through the next fire polish. You can kind of see how the bracelet's taking shape now with our 3 rows of right angle weave. 1, 2, 3. Pick up 2 more fire polish. Go through the side to make our next unit, and we're going to go up that first fire polish through the 8/0 and through the next fire polish. Pick up 2 more fire polish. Coming out of the top fire polish there, we're going to go through this side pull through. You're going to go up the next fire polish, the 8-0, and the next fire polish. I hope that makes sense. And you've got your next unit on. So all the way down, we're just going to be adding 2 beads to these 2 beads to make our last row of right angle weave. Coming out of the top, we're going to go into the side of this fire polish, pull, go through that fire polish, up through the 8-0, and through the next fire polish. Now I'm sure this pattern has been done before. I don't think I'm the first one to do it. It's just like 3 rows, and you could probably make it however thick you wanted to of the bracelet. You could make 4 rows. But I think I feel like this is wide enough for me. Whoops, I had an extra one in there, didn't I? I apologize. I had started to add 3 beads when I'm only supposed to add 2. So I've got 2 on my thread there. I'm going to go up to the next 8-0 and the next fire polish. And that will set you on to put another unit on. 2 more. Coming out of the top, going to go into the side. And then you're going to go through the bottom of that fire polish, through the bottom of the next 8-0, and through the next fire polish. Pick up 2 more. Coming out of the top fire polish, go through the side of this fire polish, then go up that fire polish through the 8-0 and the next fire polish. And we're just going to do that through the length of the bracelet. And then I'll be back for the next step. Okay, so I'm coming down to the last unit I'm going to put on. I put on this second to last unit. I'm coming out of this. I did not go through that 8-0. I'm going to go around like so. And for this last unit, because we're sharing this 1 bead, I'm going to add 3 beads, 3 fire polish. Coming out of here, and I'm going to go around and through this 8-0, and then I'm going to reinforce going back through this fire polish. and reinforce. While I am at this end, I'm going to put the wire guard on this side. I'm going to go sew up through this 8-0, take my wire guard, making sure that I'm staying in the groove of the wire guard. Go down the other side, like so. Hope you can see that. Pull, and then I'm going to go through that 8-0 again. Going to reinforce that. Go up the side of that wire guard. Down the other side. Making sure that right in through here, that thread stays right there. And then I'm going to sew through this side. I'm now going to go up. So now we've got our wire guard on. And when we're finished with the bracelet, we're going to put a jump ring in one end of the toggle on there. So I'm going to, right now I'm going to sew around this unit. Till I'm coming out of this fire polish. And all I'm going to do now is pick up an 8-0 and go through these two again, all the way down. And then I'm going to snake my way over and do the same on this side. Now, like I said, if you wanted to put a fourth right angle weave unit on with this seed bead, you could, but then you'd need to add one more row. So you'd need 5 rows altogether. One more row of the 8-0 and then another row of the fire polish. But like I said, I like this with, you could definitely experiment and see what you like. So this is just finishing off the bracelet. I'm going to go all the way down. So I'm going to go all the way down to this side, snake over here and put the wire guard on, then come down and do the other side just like this. And then I'll be back and we will put on the clasp. Okay, so I've gone ahead and put all of the 8-0s between the fire polish on either side, and I've got my jump ring ready to put on the one part of the toggle. Just gonna put it through there, run it through the wire guard, close it up. And there we've got one part of the toggle on. Going to do the same thing to the other side. Take your jump ring, open it up, put it through the loop there, and then through the hoop of the wire guard, close it up. And there we go. There is the bracelet. So here's the finished bracelet, green and ivory. My hubby would say it was very close to the Michigan State colors, which are green and white. He's more of a U of M fan. Anyways, I think it turned out good. Thank you for spending time with me today. I know it was a longer video. I hope you had a snack and a drink or something with you. And if you'd like to be notified of any time I upload a new video, please hit the subscribe button and you will be notified. See you next time.